Nothing to hide, and I'm gonna break it straight down the pipe for you, face to face.
Being tough gets you hurt. This is a sharp game, a skill game, a chess game, and I think people see that.
Having lost that fight, walking out of the ring, what were your memories? What did you think?
Boxing's a lot tougher than that.
You don't even know. You don't know my ability though.
Well, that's true.
You don't.
I don't know where you might go. I just give you where I think you're at, which I'm entitled to, which is average is very complimentary.
The clash everyone's been waiting for is about to ignite. In a face-to-face showdown that has the boxing world buzzing, Jake Paul, the brash YouTube sensation turned pugilist, stares down former heavyweight titan Anthony Joshua with unshakable confidence. Joshua, a calm and calculating champion, evaluates Paul with the keen eye of a seasoned fighter. Paul openly acknowledges Joshua's immense size, unmatched skill, and championship mindset, admitting this could be his toughest challenge yet. Respect mixes with rivalry as Paul vows to rise to the occasion, determined to prove he belongs in the ring with boxing royalty.
This relentless style, this forward pressure, taking lots of damage and not giving a fuck and returning that damage more than what his opponents are giving him. And that...
With the fight officially set for December 19th, the hype has exploded to unprecedented levels. Jake Paul made it clear, this isn't another celebrity stunt, it's a real war against a former unified heavyweight champion. He openly admitted the risk is enormous, but true greatness demands daring moves. Joshua, ever the composed veteran, acknowledged Jake's relentless drive, sharp business instincts, and work ethic, yet reminded fans that experience in the ring can't be ignored. When that bell rings, respect disappears, and instincts rule, he stated confidently. Both warriors agreed this battle isn't just a fight, it's a career-defining moment. Either Jake stuns the world with an upset, or Joshua reasserts his heavyweight supremacy with authority.
I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua. I know
he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. But I want to fight you.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping stepped into the conversation with a bold take, calling the matchup a win-win for Jake Paul. According to Bisping, even if Paul falls short, he'll still earn major respect for stepping into the ring with a former heavyweight world champion, a feat few would dare attempt. Facing Anthony Joshua proves Paul isn't just chasing celebrity boxing fame. He's willing to risk it all for legitimacy, showing real courage and ambition. And if Paul somehow pulls off the unthinkable and wins, it would instantly elevate him to a whole new level, cementing his status as a serious contender in the sport. Bisping emphasized that this is exactly the kind of high-stakes, calculated risk that deserves applause. On the flip side, the fight could be a double-edged sword for Anthony Joshua. A win might draw criticism, as some could say he took an easy payday against a social media star instead of top-tier competition. But a loss would be catastrophic. Defeat at the hands of an influencer-turned-boxer could tarnish his legacy, shake fan confidence, and raise serious questions about his future in the heavyweight division. The stakes couldn't be higher.
I say it's a win-win for Jake Paul is because, listen, if he wins, then he's beating a former heavyweight boxing world champion, certainly one of the best heavyweights of his generation, and of course, a man that is way bigger than Jake Paul. Of course, it's a win, and if he loses, it's still a win for Jake Paul because he had the balls. He was man enough. He was willing to test himself. He would prove everyone wrong, all his critics, like me. By the way, I'm not like out there on an island by myself. Everyone says the same thing, and he would essentially prove all of those critics wrong. Well, yeah, he would, maybe, unless there's some funny business, right? And for Anthony Joshua, as I said, this is kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if he wins, people are still going to say, well, you won't beat Jake Paul, right? The man that lost to Tommy Fury, after all, right? That's the only loss on his record, Tommy Fury. You're telling me that Tommy Fury is going to beat him, and then Anthony Joshua's not going to beat him? So if he beats him, he gets no credit. And if he loses, then holy can you imagine? That would be the biggest downfall of any boxer's career. The reality is, He's not going to lose. There is no way on this earth that Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua in a boxing match. That's just a fact, okay? Look at what he did to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou hits as hard as a Ford Escort, going 100 miles an hour or whatever that stat was. Comes from the UFC. He was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Has a good go against Tyson Fury, but goes up against Anthony Joshua and gets flatlined. Every single punch that was thrown was landed, and every punch that landed put Francis Ngannou down, okay? So to stand there and think that Jake Paul, who's much, much smaller, who has way less experience, that doesn't weigh anything near him, is going to have a chance, and not to mention...
No matter the outcome, many see this fight more as a business spectacle than a legacy-defining moment for Anthony Joshua. One of the most talked-about factors is the massive weight difference between the two fighters. Jake Paul reportedly tipped the scales near 200 pounds during his bout with Mike Tyson, while Joshua consistently competes in the 252 to 255-pound range. This size gap adds another layer of intrigue, as fans wonder how speed, power, and strategy will clash when a lighter, agile Paul meets the towering, seasoned Joshua in the ring.
I legit think it was probably close to happening. Now you're telling me there were discussions potentially, signed to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. And again, I do believe the reason for that is Jake's massive size advantage. Again, that's like a 100-pound weight advantage. How would that even work? Like, how do you even... Never mind. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it's not official and I don't think it's happening. So let's just not even broach that subject. But let's talk about the Anthony Joshua fight. And I want to hear the clip again because I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Let's play it again.
I know my boundaries. I want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass. I know
he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. All this shit, but I want to fight you.
So Jake says he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. He says he's gonna beat Anthony Joshua's ass. That he doesn't have a chin. That he has no skill. And that he's stiff. And then you hear Derek again with the porn creeper stash chime in. Didn't he just get knocked out? Yeah, by Daniel Dubois, who is a reigning heavyweight champion of the world. Not that that means anything at all, I don't guess. Yeah, Jake's just flat out wrong here with a lot of his critiques of Anthony Joshua in comparison to himself. Like, if you want to say for the elite heavyweights in the world that Anthony Joshua is a little bit less skill and is more stiff than they are, then okay, but Anthony Joshua is still an elite heavyweight in the world. And then to go as far as to say, I will beat Anthony Joshua's ass, that he doesn't have a chin, no skill, he's stiff. Like, again, Jake can have this opinion. And he says it, that we're friends and I love you, but I want to fight you. And Jake may even believe that, but he's just wrong. Like, Anthony Joshua took heavy shots against Daniel Dubois before he was knocked out, and really, the reason he was knocked out is because he got in a firefight and threw an uppercut as a lead because Ben Davidson was saying...
Anthony Joshua's resume speaks for itself. He's faced some of the biggest names in boxing history. His experience in brutal high-stakes battles far surpasses Jake Paul's, a fact even Joe Rogan has highlighted in debates about this matchup. While Joshua has proven himself in the ring against elite competition, Paul is still carving his path in professional boxing, making this clash a true test of skill versus hype.
Zone, man. That's what it is. He's only like 27. That guy's fucking scared. He's dangerous. Going into that fight, it seems like he believed that he was just going to dominate him. He was so aggressive. He was just in the pocket constantly, just forcing Joshua to go to war. It was wild.
Everybody was like, look, to Joshua, I think you're done.
Right after he knocks out Francis Ngannou, and it's like, everyone's like, you're back.
Yeah.
Flattened Francis Ngannou, and everyone's like, oh, Joshua's back.
Dana White, Tommy Fury, and Stephen A. Smith have all slammed Jake Paul, calling his callouts laughable, his fights against legends a circus, and questioning his legitimacy. Fury even mocked the idea of Paul facing Anthony Joshua, claiming Paul couldn't challenge a true heavyweight. Yet Tyson Fury boldly predicted Jake could knock out Joshua, calling it a 50-50 fight and even offering a £1 million wager. Critics argue Paul avoids real boxers, but he continues pushing boundaries, chasing fights, and refusing to back down. The stakes are astronomical. Each fighter stands to earn a jaw-dropping $92 million, making this bout one of the richest in boxing history. For Jake, it's a win-win. Either he shocks the world and proves his rise is real, or he gains respect for stepping up to a legendary opponent. For Joshua, it's high risk, high reward. Will Paul pull the ultimate upset, or will Joshua reaffirm his dominance? Smash that like, hit subscribe, and share this video if you're ready for the showdown of the year.